ॐ ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुसाक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। In the last class, verse number 15, हिरण्मयेन पात्रेण सत्यस्यापिहितं मुखं तत्त्वं पुरुषन् अपावृणु satya dharmaya drishthaye. So we have seen clearly. So no more going to the same verse. Now let us read verse mantra number 16. Pūṣann ekarṣe Yama Sūrya prajāpatya bhūya śarīram samūha tejo yatte rūpaṃ kalyāṇatamaṃ tatte paśyāmi yośavasyo puruṣaḥ asmi. As we have been discussing this very carefully, especially this mantra number 16, this we do invoke, there is invocation through Sūrya Mandala. So you can say that Sūrya Narayana Upasana. Actually, we do worship Surya Upasana in Vedic culture. As you know, we do Panchayatana Puja. So in that Panchayatana Puja, also Surya is there. This is called Vedic Puja. And we do accept that the Surya, being direct God, is the symbol of cosmic intelligence. And of course, we also technically accept as self-illuminous, orderly, sustaining this universe and also universal. So looking at all this, Surya Upasana is being highly prescribed. And moreover, in this mantra, Surya is being considered, because what we see the physical Surya, physical sun. So that is Surya Bhagavan Ishwara is different than the physical one. Like the eyes that you see, it is called external Golaka. But the internal eye is different. If that is missing, this physical eye has no value. Like the person who dies, everything is perfect. In fact, they take it, remove the eye and fix it in another person. It works. So here it says that here the physical sun that we see represents the total Ishvara. And interestingly, in this mantra is being called as He Pūṣann. Not only that, He ekarṣe, He Yama, He Sūrya, He prajāpate iti. And of course, being highlighted that Bhuiha Rasmin Samūhya Teja iti. So that means what you need to do. So may you, that is what we looked at, withdraw, or you can say spread eye, restrain. What you need to do. This rasmin samuha teja iti. It's not that when you do upasana, that Surya will take away all the rasmis, all the rays from you. It's not like that. Don't think of that. So it has got its own meaning. So we look at little carefully that this is Surya Rasmi, the rays of sun, stands for, you can say, multiplicity. Not only that, it has got different dazzling names and forms. That's why we have different names of Surya Rasmi. And of course, it is overpowering manifestation. And when the Surya Rasmi is strong, the rays of Surya is strong, please understand, because of too much brilliance, it obstructs the vision. In fact, one can go blind too. So I want all these things to be pleasant in me. You know the concept in Bhagavad Gita, when Arjuna was desperate to see Lord Krishna's Vishwarupa, the cosmic form of Ishvara. In fact, Lord was not that much happy, Krishna was not happy, but still he had to do it. And what happened after that? Saying that, hey, look, I can't handle anymore. Please come back to the old form. In fact, I'm not able to see anything. So that's why too much is not good. And here, I do Surya Upasana to have your auspicious form so that I can, relate with it. I behold. So that means here I need to have upasana drishti. It's not sensory perception. So from upasana standpoint, when I start looking Surya, I see Surya entirely different. Because why? Here is being very nicely highlighted that yatte rūpaṃ kalyāṇatamaṃ tatte paśyāmi, that which is auspicious, let me see that only. So that means if you grace me, definitely things becomes different. And moreover, why all these things? He says, yosha vaso puruṣaḥ soham asmi iti. Yaha asau puruṣaḥ sa aham asmi. So what it says, we have to be very careful in this mantra. As you know, this comes towards end to re-establish. So you can take this in 2 steps. So being upasana, generally when upasana is being done predominantly, definitely that we need to see that the person has not done shravana, mananam, nitidhyasanam properly. And also mahavakya analysis has not been done properly. But here comes aham brahmasmiti, aham asmiti, saha asmi, is mahavakya. You indeed is me. So that means when he says that you indeed am I, so then means how to look at this. So this is not a Jnani's declaration. So what does it mean? Because for a Jnani, what does I mean? Very technical point, okay? For a Jnani, what does I mean? You can see the I has got different meaning. Depends upon who you are. So now the first I, we say Jnani. is Sakshi Chaitanyam, Jnani. So the person when it says I refers to Sakshi Chaitanyam. Whereas when a Upasaka says I, still refers to body-mind complex. That's why there is relationship. So what here he says that Saha Aham Asmiti, here there is no knowledge aspect, but here there is devotional identity. It is not understanding, but devotional identity. So that means what? There is some type of imagination involved. And in fact, that's why it is called as upasana. And because of this reason, what happens? What is that? Because there is no bheda, there is no difference. Which Ramana Maharshi says in Upadesha Saram, Bheda bhavanat sohamityasau bhavana bhida pavani mata. So this is the concept is being brought here. Veda bhavanat sohamityasau. Definitely, this is called pavani, more purifying than seeing any difference. So that means, again, this upasana becomes, do you know what? Jnana yogyata pratyartham. That's why what it will do, how it will be helpful. Because it comes towards the end, it prepares, especially when a upasaka is dying. So this dying upasaka starts seeking that, oh, Sūrya, Bhagavan, take care of me so that I can have a Shuklagati. Because that's why we say, when you go with the Sūrya path, there is a Shuklagati, not Krishnagati. I don't ask what is Shuklagati and Krishnagati. We have discussed in Bhagavad Gita in details. So that means I will go to higher locus. I will become a higher individual. Maybe up to Brahmaloka also. Brahmaloka Prapti is there. So that means what? Indirectly says that if Jivan Mukti did not happen, at least Vidya Mukti will happen. While being alive, if I am not liberated, at least going to Brahmaloka, there what will happen? I will be fortunate enough to study under Brahmaji. So there I'll have Videha Mukti. So that means what? Here this mantra highlights complete surrender. And most important thing is, when you are completely surrendering, you need to surrender with confidence. People do complete surrender. Especially when you are helpless, also you surrender completely. But that surrendering is not with confidence, with helplessness, with doubts. And a upasaka, this is the difference between common person surrendering and upasaka. That's why a student by default has to be a upasaka. So when a upasaka starts surrendering, so that in that surrendering, not only there is a complete surrender, also there is confidence. And that confidence takes care, and that confidence doesn't allow any confusion further in life. And that is also being highlighted very carefully. So that means very carefully, if we look at this mantra, highlights how one should leave this world, this body-mind complex, especially upasaka. And of course, one need not have any fear, of course, not any sort of confusion. And moreover, most important thing when he says that saha aham asmi iti, in that also it highlights very carefully. The upasaka towards end starts seeing that Ishvara everywhere and myself also in Ishvara. Need not be myself is Ishvara, please understand. Need not be myself is Ishvara, but myself in Ishvara. So that's why there is no fear at all. I remember one beautiful incident. I would bring this point. In Odisha, we have once upon a time the 5 people were very famous. They called as Panchasakha. So one of them is called Balaram Das. He was very nice. And always he used to criticize Lakshmi. So his job is always to criticize. And always say, look, you are not beautiful, you are squint-eyed. Always you are hanging around with my Lord Vishnu, Jagannath. What is this? And Lakshmi used to get irritated with him. And finally, Lakshmi cursed him. This is the story goes. Very nice incident. Look, all the time you are criticizing me, blaming me, not respecting. Look, you will not leave the body in Puri. You are being thrown away from Puri towards the end of your life. In fact, that happened. Whole life he stayed, but towards the end he could not. But he said, don't worry. Wherever I will die, there will be Puri. Puri Sayanath, okay, that Puram goes. Lakshmi said, okay, we'll see. The incident happened, so when towards the end he could not, and where his Samadhi Pita is there. So towards the end, Jagannath had to come to see him. So when Jagannath came to see him, Lakshmi also joined. And when he was passing, he said, look, didn't I tell you, wherever I'll pass, that will be Puri. When both of you are there, what is there in Puri? Only both of you. So when both of you are here, why I need to go to Puri? And he left his body. So this is called Upasana. Of course, he was a Tattvic person. Both Upasana Phala and Tattva Jnanam. He had both. That's why this is what happens when you have the confidence. When you have complete surrender, that's why he could challenge Lakshmi. Can you see this point? And made God helpless. Of course, we have many stories in every part of India. In fact, there are places like, for example, famous temple where Lord Krishna had to turn, not visible in the front, to listen to the songs of someone. Let me not get into mantra number 17. I am supposed to complete something, okay? Or else I'll be keep talking and talking. Vāyur anilam amṛtam athedaṃ bhasmāntaṃ śarīram om krato smara smara krato smara smara. Because now we are coming to an end, okay? So when we are coming to an end, we need to see this mantra actually is a prayer. Prayer at the time of death. Especially a upasaka, an upasaka you can say, or a upasaka, an upasaka. This is what does. Talks to one's own self. And of course, seeking krama mukti, gradual liberation. And remember, not merely to survive physically, nor even to have heavenly pleasure. But let me go to Brahmaloka so that I can be taught by Brahmaji, so that I'll be liberated. So when we look at this way, he highlights very nicely, atha vāyur amṛtam anilam pravishatu. So the person starts saying, atha now, Now time has come for me. This is called upasana, okay? Because actually when you do upasana, you will come to know when you will leave the body. That's why we say, be aware of. Not a doctor should say, some other person should say. One should be aware of death. That is the beauty. And when you are aware of death, you are not a dying person either. Problem is, when I am not aware of death, so any shock, any obstruction, anything unwanted happens, I get a jerk. So that is called death. You understand? And here is being said. The person says very nicely, what he says, look, atha now vāyur amṛtam anilam pravishatu iti. I have supplied the word pravishatu. So what is to be done? Now vāyur means this some vyashti vāyur, my prana ityartha. So let this vyashti vāyur, my individual prana, merge with, enter into vāyur. Where to meet? Amṛtam anilam iti. So amṛtam anilam is nothing put together, is called total prana. You can say cosmic prana, individual prana to cosmic prana. And not only that, that's why we have a lot of points to be discussed in this regard. See here, I don't want to hold on to my individuality. Let vyashti join in samashti, individual join in totality, so that I don't want to hold on to individuality. Because as long as I am holding on to individuality, that long I am mortal. So if I want to be immortal, I have to drop individuality. That's why through upasana, I elevate myself in such a way so that slowly the sense of insecurity that I considered as my individuality gets dropped. And as it gets dropped, I get associated with Ishvara. That's why that time the mantra, what we say, that what is that? Asatoma sadgamaya, tamosoma jyotirgamaya, mrityumma amṛtam gamaya. So that becomes more useful, or you can say understandable, when I start working on dropping my individuality. But unfortunately, what we do, always we try to hold on to. That's why he says, good, bhasmāntaṃ śarīram iti. Idam śarīram bhasmāntaṃ bhavatu. This body that I am holding on to, let it burn into ashes. So that means, why also there is a reason. That's why in Hinduism, we burn especially the body, not body. The reason is why? Because the fire is supposed to be the sakshi of my work. Especially when I started upanayam, samidadhanam, then after this marriage, as it is continues in the form of agnihotra. So all the time, fire only witnesses what I am doing, what I am not doing. That's why we say, if you cannot do any ritual, make sure lamp is on. Let the lamp light Agni to be your Shakshi. So in your house, lamp should be there. That's why those days, what was there? You might have seen when they take the dead body. So they carry the fire. The son has to carry the fire. From the body, from the house, it has to go. Not in the cremation ground, they look for matchstick. And what is that fire? That fire is nothing but that which was maintained by the person through Agnihotra. So in short, the fire becomes what? The witness. That's why we have Hindu marriage is acceptable when there is fire ritual. Nowadays they change Satafara, you have to go 7 times or 7 steps together. You have to prove. That's why you say, in the presence of fire god and other people, I marry you. So there are mantras are there related to that. Let me not get into. So then finally what I do, this body which was doing everything, let this body get burnt by the witness who was witnessing me all the time. Can you see this point? And let it to burn it to ashes so that I am not available at all. So that was the purpose of, this carrying fire from the home. Not because I remember when electric furnace came in India, nobody liked it. Nobody accepted. Till now also, people don't accept this. Those who are orthodox, they will not accept. Because they are, even though nowadays they are doing some rituals, this, that, something they allow nowadays. Because a lot of opposition complain, so they do it. So because of this reason. However, he says not only that, oh krato means oh mind. This is the most important thing. Oh mind means the upasaka talks to one's own self. Oh mind, smara. May you remember. What you need to remember? Kṛtaṃ iti. So kṛtaṃ means whatever upasana I have done. So may you recollect. Because remember, during death time, you cannot remember anything. Only there will be, a deliberate thinking. So I would rather say there will be no deliberate thinking. There will be, natural thinking. And how and why, I'll tell you openly. I think I am going out of the track. How the death experience. Let me see. For example, if I hold your head inside the bathtub with water, really you are gasping. That time, will you be able to think of anything? Your real personality will come up. Your language, your all wrong things will, because I'll allow your mouth open, okay? And what you will talk in the water, only God knows, okay? Because I cannot hear anything. Because you are not able to breathe at all, because I have put the head on the inside the water. You understand? This is a simple sample. During death time, same thing happens. That's why when you do practice regularly pranayama, you can feel it. How the prana will start getting choked from lower body to upper body. That's why medically what happens? These are the secret. So before you try to die, you will discover your feet will become cold. Feet has to be cold. You are alive. People are alive. Feet will be cold, but the head will be warm. So these are the points one need to understand very carefully. Then only the person will start seeing how to look at. He says, oh krato, smara om iti. So you need to smara. Om means pranava ishvara iti. So may you remember, may you dwell upon Ishvara, nothing else. And also smara kṛtaṃ. Why smara kṛtaṃ? I think we'll see this in tomorrow and complete the text. Okay? That's why upasana is most important. We'll see this. Om Purnavadah Purnamidam Purnhat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you, all of you.